In this video, I want to look at solving equations using a method called backtracking. So to solve an equation, we need to work backwards to find the value of the pronumeral. So to do that, we need to think about what this expression means and the order that we would do things in there. So if we ignore this minus 11 for a second, if we had the expression 3x minus 4, if I gave you a value for x and asked you to evaluate that expression, so say I said x equals 2, the first thing that you'd do would be the 3 times 2 to get 6, and then whatever that answer was, so our 6, then we'd minus 4 from that. So the way that expression on that left-hand side has been built is we start off with whatever our x is, then we times by 3, so we'll write a little times by 3 to get to 3x, and then the last step was that we subtract 4 to get to 3x minus 4. So thinking about how that was built, if we now want to go backwards to figure out what x is, we're going to do the opposite of those steps. So we know that this expression is equal to 11 because it tells us that here. So to work backwards and figure out what we started with, we're going to do the opposite of these steps. So instead of minusing 4, we're going to add 4. So 11 plus 4 would give us 15. Now, instead of timesing by 3, we're going to do the opposite, which would be dividing by 3. Now, 15 divided by 3 would give us 5. So that means we can write, therefore, x equals 5. Now, to check your answer, it's always a good idea just to substitute this back into your original equation, and make sure that it makes sense. So if we went 3 times 5, that would be 15. 15 minus 4 does give us 11. So we're just checking that it does make sense when we substitute it back in. Let's have a look at another example. So in this one, we've got solve 2m minus 8 equals 10. So again, we'd start with m if we were building this expression or this equation. We'd start with m and we'd times by 2 to get 2m. And then we'd have to subtract 8 to get that 2m minus 8. Now we know that this expression is equal to 10, so we'll put our 10 underneath, and we're going to undo those steps. So instead of subtracting 8, we're going to do the opposite, we're going to add 8. So 10 plus 8 would give us 18. And then instead of timesing by 2, to go the other way, we're going to divide by 2. 18 divided by 2 gives us 9. So therefore, m equals 9. And again, it's always good to just double check. So putting 9 in here, 2 times 9 is 18, minus 8 gives us 10, which is what we wanted. So that's how we can solve equations by backtracking.